Hello, it's your boy Justin with another comic book review today. This time I'm reviewing Deadpool, Deadhead Redemption, which collects issue 900 of Deadpool, Deadpool 1000, Captain America, Who Won't Wield the Shield, and Deadpool Merry Freakin Christmas from the Marvel Digital Comics Unlimited. And there's also a story from here that was in Deadpool Team Up. Right. So yeah, this book goes for 16 U.S., 1750 Canadian, rated parent, parental advisory. Right. If you can get it at that price, I would recommend it. If not, boy, this book was not good. And like this book overall was not good. We'll go through the stories. Like the both Deadpool 900 and Deadpool 1000 were anthology stories. So in Deadpool 900, you have this story about like Deadpool uh, going through the desert with a carload of dead Russians when he gets abducted by aliens, and this is Close Encounters of the Messed Up Kind by Jason Aaron and Chris Staggs did the art. This story was cool. It was this story was good. It was funny and it had some like uh, decent movie references. And the book it was funny. Like I enjoyed some of the jokes in the movie in this book. Right. The second story for Deadpool 900 has a story of like Deadpool getting his eardrums blown out through this explosion and having to fight a bunch of mimes who gives him like a not a very gross gesture. They're miming that Deadpool is like a sucker of something, and you can use your imagination for what. And these mimes have like were implanted with some kind of like technology that allow their thoughts to become real, so that they're wielding like invisible mind weapons, right? And Deadpool was able to, while fighting them, and it's pretty gory this fight. You see like invisible weapon breaks like Deadpool's sword, right? And here's the the explanation for how their invisible weapons work. It's just for psychic resource, psychomorph transistor, right? So Deadpool, yeah, like here you can see they shoot like imaginary guns, and Deadpool steals like a sticker that has like the microchip on one of the guy's backs, and does the gun the old Western gun sweeping revolver technique where you like it's called sweeping, where like you pull the hammer back and like wrap back and forth to rapid fire shoot, and he kills them all, right? And then at the end of the issue, you have like you have he can hear again, and they explain what was going on. It gets very meta. This was like the only Fred Land Vant story I liked in this book, because in his stories for like Deadpool 1000 were very political and and not funny at all. This story was okay. It's like Deadpool going to see they did this kind of story a lot where Deadpool will talk to somebody, and at the end of the issue it turns out, oh, he's actually there to kill that person. So this guy's you know uh, uh, impregnated a 15-year-old girl, and she killed herself, and he's there to kill her, right? And then they also broke the fourth wall. Yeah, this story was okay. This story was good. Pinky Swear with Joe Kelly and Rob Liefeld, right, where Deadpool is on a mission to save the world, but gets distracted when she when he gets reminded of a promise he made with this fat guy, right? About how like 20 years from now, if this fat guy wasn't married with the hot chick from some sci-fi TV show, he would have this guy would have to bang a horse on camera. And it turns out at the end of the story that he actually did marry the chick from the sci-fi TV show. Also, there's violence. There's lots of violence against animals, like this dog here. But I think it survives at the end of the story. I'm not 100% sure. There you see him blasting off like Team Rocket. Despite the wacky art of Rob Liefeld, this story was actually good. All right. Here you have a story with Dwayne Swirinski and Sean Crystal where they parody CSI, and just like with the other story, it turns out he was hired by some guy to kill these people because they they sent an innocent man to prison, right? That's the story, and art was okay. Here's the story, one of my favorite stories that's written by my favorite Deadpool writer, Victor Gischler, where Deadpool's on a cruise, on vacation, where he gets into a fight with Dr. Octopus because Deadpool was acting very obnoxious at this cruise, right? This story sucked. It has the really crappy 3D art here, and it was just meta, like, it's Deadpool arguing with his two voices in his head over stupid bullshit. That story sucked. Alright. And at the end of the book, he tries to kill the readers. Alright. So yeah, that was the last story for Deadpool 900. But overall, Deadpool 900 was good. Here is Deadpool Team Up issue 1. Oh, this this story was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's like Deadpool in the 90s fought like a super villain, and his blood got over the place, and like a Yakuza guy takes his blood sample, gives it to his boss, and they clone like a mini-me of Deadpool, and then the mini-me goes rogue, and Deadpool has to kill him, right? And you get this crappy story about how like Deadpool used to be a sumo wrestler in Japan. Right, I didn't like, this story was okay, I didn't like it that much though. And there's more animal violence in this book, right? But overall, it was okay. Here's Deadpool 1000. It sucked. This book overall sucked. The first the first story was okay, but it turns out, like, Deadpool was there not to kill anybody at the table, but to kill the hot chick that was, flirting with him throughout the whole story, right? This story was okay. I like this story. I think the Victor Gischler wrote this one too. I could be wrong. No, it was David Art and written by David Lapham, where Deadpool has a dream with all of his like old characters from his book, and they're like parodying the Maltese Falcon, that like famous noir film with that one guy. It was okay. Yeah, it turns out it was all a dream. Right. So yeah, this was one of the better stories of Deadpool 1000, which was written by Rick Remender with art by Jack Opina, which this team worked on Uncanny X-Force. I think this was around the same time as Uncanny X-Force. But yeah, it's like Deadpool is on a mission to rescue this kid who gets kidnapped by this fat chick, right? And he gets force-fed to become super fat, right? And it's not clear why they're doing this, but this was a funny story, right? You have a fat Deadpool having to fight these like Edward Scissorhands looking goons for this fat dominatrix, right? And they kind of parody Raiders of the Lost Ark here. But like Deadpool gets the Edward Scissorhand cosplayers to turn on the fat chick. Yeah. So this The story ends with Deadpool saving the kid and then stopping at McDonald's for breakfast. That was a funny story. Here is Silent Night, where they parody Blackest Night because at this time, for whatever reason, there was this rivalry between Deadpool and then Green Lantern, and I think this was even before. Oh, I think this was because, like, at the time, like, Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool. This was before the Deadpool movie came out. He played Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then he played Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, the Green Lantern movie. So there was this rivalry between, this very one-sided rivalry between, like, Deadpool and Green Lantern. So they would parody Green Lantern and Deadpool, right? And this story, I don't know, I didn't like it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Fred Vance. This story was political, I didn't like it. Here is the weird story where you have, like, a weird story where Howard Clayton, from The Shadow, who's famous for doing Shadow comics, and he's done more comics than The Shadow, but he did, like, a Deadpool story where Deadpool was hired by this kid at his bar mitzvah to kill his stepdad because his stepdad was a pedo, pretty much, right? That story was good. You have this stupid story that's like that was a single page where, like, Doctor Doom unfriended Deadpool on Faceless book, right? And he was super pissed off at it. And here you have a cameo of Alex Orlando. So this story also sucked. This book was very political, where they shit on America. Like, here's a line. Let's see if I can find it here. What does Canada have? What does America have that Canada doesn't? Right? America has that Canada doesn't, right? And the guy's like, American Idol. Apart from that, Nancy Pelosi, the ability to win at sports other than ice hockey. Taylor Swift, gun crime. Don DeLillo, Philadelphia, a really big hip hop, San Diego suit. Canadians do not call hockey ice hockey, and Deadpool's supposed to be Canadian. And then there's also the thing where they say gun crime. Canada doesn't have gun crime. That is bullshit. If anything, we have more gun crime because less people have guns, except for the criminals. The criminals have all the guns. So yeah, that's bullshit. And the story does end kind of funny, where, like, Deadpool takes the job to be the new Canadian Captain America, but he kills his entire team when he finds out, oh yeah, the costume was made for, like, Wolverine, but Wolverine turned them down, so he just kills everybody. This was another story I liked, written by Colin Bunn, where they kind of parody Twilight here, where Deadpool gets hired to save this, to rescue this goat in Mexico from the Chupacabra, and there turns out to be a bunch of Chupacabras, and it turns out the Chupacabra was in love with the goat. But, yeah, like, Deadpool killed the Chupacabra and brought the goat back, which the goat was named Bella, and it turns out the goat was special not because it was a beloved pet, because of its meat. So Deadpool eats it at the end of the book. Yeah. This story sucked. This Deadpool kills a cat and gets covered in its shit. This story was gross. Now we have Captain America, who won't wield a shield. And this story has apparently nothing to do with Captain America, but it doesn't have anything to do with Deadpool anyway. Other than there's a story about... Yeah, this story sucked. It was basically... Jason Aaron wrote it, but it was, like, basically about, like, they brought back this very obscure villain called Four Bushman, gave him the Winter Soldier bionic arm, and he's a comic book fanboy, and goes to kill a bunch of comic book writers because they turn beloved superheroes, like, darker. This story was already... This kind of story was already done in a fucking hack slash book, which is like about like that. It's that comic book about the emo goth girl called Cassie Hack, who goes around killing supernatural serial killers. Right? There was a story just like that. Watch my review for Volume 1 of Hack Slash. Right? So yeah, this story kind of rips off from that book, right? And then, you know, it's like the four Bushmen killing like comic book writers, right? And then you have this Matt Fraction pitches his crappy comic book character called Dr. America, who's like a combination of Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange, Captain America, and I'm assuming Hellstrom, Demon Hellstrom, Son of Satan. And this was apparently a comic book making fun of like how people thought comic books were satanic, even though you had a lot of satanic. Marvel had a lot of satanic superheroes in the 70s, and you have openly Satanist Satanist writers working for Marvel now, like fucking what's his name? Oh fuck, the guy who wrote Venom. That everybody, Donny Cates, yeah, the guy they made that War Campaign used to make fun of. The art for this story was pretty cool. I'll give him that. And you also have this story about a golden age Deadpool, which was okay. It was not great. Yeah, this comic sucked. And then you have the story that we reviewed this comic book for Christmas in the first place, which is the Deadpool gets hired to kill Santa Claus, right? Because he gets hired by, what's it called, Rankin Bass, or Rankin, or you know, they're parodying the guy who did all those Christmas cartoons, right? And you know, Deadpool fights Santa Claus, right? And Santa Claus beats the shit out of Deadpool, and he's like, Deadpool, why are you trying to kill me? You always end up on my you know, good list, right? And he's because Deadpool's like, you never give me what I want for Christmas. And he gives him the Monsters of Communist Pez dispensers, which has Mao, Castro, and then Stalin, right? And then Deadpool goes after his creator. And that's the end of this book. So what do I think about this book? I like Deadpool 900 overall. I liked maybe like 2 stories from Deadpool 1000. And, you know, the Four Bushman story was okay. And the Christmas story, which we read this book for this review, sucked, and yeah, it was not good. It was not good, and I overall, like, yeah, it's the thing where I liked Deadpool 900 was good. There was like 2 stories from Deadpool 1000 I liked, but like overall, yeah, this is average at best. So I'm giving it 5 out of 10. If you could get it for a decent price, I would recommend it. But yeah, don't pay more than $20 for this book. Okay, our next review for Christmas month, next comic book review, is going to be Tick's Giant Christmas Cavalcade, which is 216, which collects 6 comics at 216 pages. Some of which are black and white and are super faded. But yeah, hopefully it's good.